Hello, I'm going to show you how PeakU works and how is the flow that candidates and companies can follow in order for them to complete the whole hiring process in just a single step and only with one platform. So let's say I'm in LinkedIn and I want to search for candidates. So what would I do first? I have a job offer that is very difficult to fill because it's IT. So I'll go to my PeakU extension, and here you can see that, well, we can go back to the first step, and here you can see I can add the number of contacts I want to add. Let's say it's only 3 for the sake of the example, and then I'm going to say I want them in Antioquia and I want them for the computer security expert vacancy, and I'm going to search. So let's search for candidates, and it's going to match skills and salary. Let's see how it does it. So first, it's going to the first profile. It's called Cesar Augusto, and it's going to look at Cesar Augusto experience to try to match his salary with the salary of the job post. And also to Luis Felipe, also doing the same stuff. And at last, it's going after Vladimir Perez. So after this review, it's telling me that Vladimir and Cesar have a high salary, while Luis Felipe has a good salary, so it's going to be checked. So at this point, I can contact them. I'm not going to do that because this is just an example. So let's say that at the end, these guys, Luis Felipe is going to have something like this, Jesus Burneo. I'm going to write them and I'm going to tell him, do you want to apply to this job post? You can click here. And if he wants to, he's going to click, for example, he did actually, he's going to click in this offer. It's, let's look at some other offer. It's a full stack developer, and he's going to review all the requirements and the technologies and the company. And if he likes everything he's looking at, he's going to say, okay, I'm going to apply. And he applies here. And he's going to see something like this, online test. And when he starts, he's going to go through some tests. First, requirements. We're not going to see requirements because it's not that interesting. And then cultural fit. So in cultural fit, for example, you're gonna have questions like, what would be your ideal job? And it could either be a big company like Citibank or a small, a more startup-like company like Airbnb or Rappi or Stripe. And he's going to select one of these based on his personal preferences. And after he completes this cultural test, the algorithm is going to guide him towards language first. Is not that interesting. I'm not going to show that. And then to IQ. So in IQ, he's asked to complete a puzzle, or several puzzles actually. And one of these puzzles is to complete the set of dominoes. So there's a pattern here, and he has to understand the pattern and complete the next domino. So once he does that and he completes the domino, he's going to be guided towards the next phase of the interview, of the tests. And in this phase, he's going to go through a coding test. So in this coding test is with JavaScript, and he has to try to find a bug in a random piece of code. In this case, the code has some bugs. I know the bugs, so you cannot assign this like this. This should be a 1 because he's trying to flatten a nested array. So it should be 1 there, and the sorting of this thing should be reversed. Actually, it's here in the desk attribute. So it's missing the reverse here. And he can run the tests to look at the result. So he's executing the code. He's executing the code against some test cases. Let's see what's the output. In this case, there's an error because I think it's reverse without the D. My bad. Let's do it again. And let's see what happens. There it is. So now we are passing the 4 test cases. So he can submit the test. and he's going to be evaluated on an independent set of test cases. So he did all the tests, and now he's going to his CV. You can either add different things to your CV or edit your CV if you don't like it. The easiest that you can do is sync your CV with LinkedIn, so you have to fill each and every one of the form, but you can just sync it with LinkedIn and then edit the bits and pieces that are missing or are not that good. So once you do that, you're done on the candidate part. So now we're going to switch to the company side. So companies are going to see candidates in this format. Here you can see the whole pipeline of candidates, from discarded candidates towards hired candidates, and all the intermediate steps. So most of the people are going to start here in applicants when we applied to the offer, and either they are going to go up here if the AI algorithm or the machine learning algorithm selects them as a high potential candidate. So we're gonna see the high potential people. As you can see, for example, Sergio Carrillo, he's a good candidate because he has like relatively good tests. He's good in everything. You also have Hamilton Ricaurte, although he's not that good in cultural fit. He has good scores, actually 100%. That's pretty high. And Santiago Trujillo also has 100% here and a good IQ, although his language is not that good. And here you can see other candidates that were lacking, for example, cultural fit or technical or both of these. So these are not that strong candidates. So you can start moving people around and say, okay, let's interview Sergio Carrillo, for example. Or you can interview this guy. This guy, we already interviewed him. So you can look at his CV, make sure everything fits and works. And once you like him, you can start the interview process. So we also have something to schedule the interview. So here you have a schedule interface where you can pick the hour. This is synced to the business calendar, Google Calendar, and is matching the candidate calendar and finding common hours where they can meet. So for example, they can meet at 8 p.m. I don't know, 8 p.m. actually, that's pretty late. 8 p.m. Yeah, they can meet at 8 p.m. This guy is busy in the days, so they can meet at 8 a.m. and we can schedule. I'm not going to schedule, of course. And after that, you can just write to the candidate, did you see the Google Calendar I sent you? Let's see. Okay, I just sent that message. So this is connected through WhatsApp, and this is a test, of course. And I'm receiving that message on my WhatsApp. So it's easier. It's very easy for candidates to communicate with the business through this API integration we have here. So once that's done, that's like the basic things that you can do. But also we have some add-ons. So for example, if the company wants to edit the tests, they have an interface to do that. They can, for example, in the solid principles test, this is for software engineering, for good practices in software engineering, they can see each question, and they can see, okay, the ratings of each question. For example, how difficult is the question? It says has a medium difficulty, and 29 people have taken the test. It has 0 likes. Nobody has either upvoted or downvoted the question, and we can take a look at the question. So if I don't like the question, I can add another answer, or I can do anything I want. I can change even the order of the question or anything else. I can also add a PDF and do more like a kind of a homework assignment and see the results of the homework assignment. That's another strategy that we also have implemented, and that is very common in the very late stage of a hiring process, especially when for startups. Okay, so you can do that, and also you can edit your company preferences. Especially, you can edit your cultural preferences. So, for example, in the case of PeakU is considered a very flexible environment. So we consider ourselves 90% flexible and 10% structured, and we are 100% startup and 0% enterprise. So this means that when I test candidates, as we go back here, they are going to be tested first for flexibility. So the match is going to be against flexibility, not structure. And Jaime has to score also be flexible in the questions he's answering. He has to be flexible and he has to be startup. So it's telling me this guy is 60% startup. If I were an enterprise, this guy would be a 40% enterprise, right? And if I was a structured company, this would be a 40% structured guy. So in this way, I'm trying to optimize all the variables in a process and trying to make the best out of it. Thank you.